Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Pisces September 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant, and I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for Pisceans from different countries around the world by FaceTime and Skype over the course of the last month. You know who you are. And if you might be interested to see what's involved in having a clairvoyant reading with me, then just check out the information that's in the description below. I've also done a number of healings as well, separately. Do you know, when I was born, and you will understand this, I was bestowed with the spiritual gift of clairvoyance. I was also bestowed with the spiritual gift of healing. Now, my soul contract is that with respect to healing, I cannot receive any benefit in return for it. Now, readings I charge for, but healings are therefore free. There's no obligation, there's no catch, there's no strings, nothing is promoted or sold. It's just straight out healing. And so if you or someone that you know may benefit from a healing from me, then just check out the information that's in the description as well. Now, as the subscribers know, and it's great to see the subscribers, thank you for having me in your home. I enjoy seeing you each month, truly I do. You're part of my extended family is the way that I look at it. And you know, don't you, that we don't have any video advertisements breaking their way into this content, and so you get to enjoy the experience of the reading uninterrupted by video ads. And we only need to take 5 cards, because each of the card, rather than spending just 2 or 3 or 5 seconds on it, they're very talkative, and we need to spend a few minutes on each of the cards to see how they are interacting with one another and what the spiritual energies are, as is depicted by the artwork, as analyzed in accordance with the artwork, I should say, in the card. Now, I might therefore use my pen to point out some of the things that I think might be interesting and that at least are aiding me in the interpretation of the spiritual energy which is around you. So let's get it underway, shall we, and see what there is in store for you, my dear Pisces. 4 of Swords, the Sun, the Universe, 2 of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. Now, you never see me doing this normally, but I'm going to take this. These were given to me, and I was meditating on the images on them, and a lot came up. So I just want to see if there's something that comes up from the image. Like, I think people call them oracle cards, or I call it a mood card, I suppose. So let's just grab one and see what there might be here for you. And it is Embrace Meditation. Well, why don't you come and sit down here, as is our usual practice, together. You and I will have a good close look on the artwork on these cards together while I do the reading for you. The highly talented and attractive Pisces. Now, Georgia, let's have a look quickly at this card that we pulled out just at the end there a second ago. It's talking about embracing meditation. Look, I'm not going to say a lot about this. I thought that the picture might be something that you could find some beauty in. Meditation, I have to tell you, is the most reliable way to contact the spiritual realm. It is real. There is a greater reality than we see with our senses. Now, you can do drugs like ayahuasca or LSD, but you don't need to. You can do it if you meditate and stick at it. And what you do find is that you can have downloaded to you in a millisecond a life's worth of wisdom and experience, beyond anything that you would get yourself, but which is contained beyond all of humanity. That's all I'll say about that. It's a subject, spirituality is a subject that is personal to each of us, but the fact is it is real. Now let's have a look at this first card. That's the card here, and this is a card which is saying that it is the sun This is the symbol for the sun, obviously for the sun card. Now, there's a Hebrew letter here. Now, that Hebrew letter is Resh. It's the 20th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it means head, leader, or beginning. And it is the symbol of choosing between greatness or degradation. And, well, I don't need to say anything more about that. It's talking about leadership in essence that is available for you to take. Now, the card is, let's have a look here. There are twins here. Now, you've read the story that, now here is the sun, which of course is the ruler of Leo. And from the serpent here, we have the arrow of Sagittarius, and we have that sign of the ram from Aries. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo are the three fire signs. These serpents can be seen as, in a sense, a metaphor for man or woman created in the image of the divinity. And so the twins that are there. Now, these things are found on the caduceus of Mercury, and they're often found on the staff of Osiris. That is the Greek, the ancient Egyptian depiction of the aspect of divinity there. Now, the sun, of course, is about the front of the head and not the back of the head. And the front of the head is attracted to light, and light stimulates through the eye, which could also be an all-seeing eye, the pineal gland or the pineal gland. And it's so called because it's in the shape of a pine cone, which is also there. Now, that thing is usually on the top of the Osiris thing as well. Here we have what is the path of the sun. Now, it's got the signs of the zodiac on it. If you were to stay in one place and at exactly the same time each day, and when I say the same time, that is discounting summertime or daylight saving time, but from the same sort of solar time each day, plot where the sun is, you'll find that the plot gives you the path of the sun as a figure eight, or the eternity symbol. Interesting, isn't it? Here we have there's a lot of geometric figures up here. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Here we have the signs of the zodiac around the decans of the zodiac around here to go with these signs of the planets and the constellations, rather. Now, what is for sure, and you can take, of course, more from that than I have time to look at now, but the sun is the source of life, and it represents success for you and abundance. And this is going to follow you in your life at present. This energy is going to set you up so that you can get through any tough times. The sun will illuminate your path after what I think has probably been something of a trying time. Would I be right to say that? Embrace your goals and give it everything you've got now, because if you have been having tough times, then things are going to get better. Now, what I would also say is that there's also fulfilled love relationships around here, a great degree of wisdom and transformation here, and awareness of you. Actually, there could well be a spiritual insight. This energy here is a definite yes for you. And I do get the feeling here of marriage, so you're going to hear of marriage proposals or marriages, or go to weddings, or hear of people moving in together. But there is success, good fortune, optimism, and happiness. Why wouldn't you like that? Do you know that the fulfillment of your wishes is possible here and now? So relax and give yourself up to the dance, because the right partners will find each other. Something new and transformational is being ripened within you, and this is going to produce enormous flavor to all the aspects of your life. Now, ask yourself, what projects are on the agenda for you now? Visualize the light and warmth of the sun in your chest and heart for the next few days, and remind yourself several times daily that the sun is shining in and through you. And say this to yourself: I work well in teamwork situations. I enjoy making contribution to group efforts. I am a cooperative person. I am in harmony with the divine light which fills and guides me. Well, what's sitting underneath it? Because I think, in relation to all this energy here, I think you're probably coming up with solutions to things. Here is the Ace of Swords. Now, what's the imagery on here? Let's have a look. The imagery on here is extremely esoteric from the point of view of Kabbalistic mysticism. And other than to say that these words here, these Greek words here, mean love and will, and that these are a number of Hebrew letters, it would be too complicated to go into the meanings of the other stuff that's around there now. Now, I don't mean any disrespect by that. It's just that it would take us half an hour to go through the card. But just look at it and say, here it is. This is a card it's in particular pointing upwards, which is particularly good. And you can see here that you are getting away from these clouds of confusion. You are cutting through the clouds of confusion. Now, I've got to tell you, there's a lot of Pisces all over this, and I think Capricorn and Aquarius are going to be important for you as well at this time. Do you know, I think that we have here that there is a great degree of intellectual clarity that's coming to you now. There's certainly original thinking and what I would call brilliant powers of thought, almost as if you are divinely inspired. And these thoughts come and ideas come through you quite quickly, I think. There is the sign for will and love. Well, this is a symbol of creative energy, which is brought into being through intellectual clarity. That which is created in clarity will carry this quality visibly and pass it on. Now, there is a coiled snake. I will mention this. There is a coiled snake around the thing there, and that has to do with it's a symbol of transformation, and it shows that the unconscious energies that you have are becoming accessible now to your conscious self. And the energies released in this process are now available to be fully used by you. Do you know, your present clarity is a wonderful condition for any undertaking that you pursue. You will be able to recognize facts and call by name things which other people would prefer to sweep under the carpet. But this does entail a great responsibility on your part. Be sure never to express your insights heartlessly. But when you are fully in contact with love, use your sword without sparing yourself or others. I really do think that this speaks to a new perspective on life for you now that was previously unclear. You see how you're cutting through now and you're coming into clarity. And you'll be able to get to the heart of matters. It's as if you have gained a new vision, and you will pursue opportunities which draw upon your creative and mental abilities. I think the sword also, in a sense, encourages you to stand up for the rights of others, which I know that's very broad, but it also means standing up for yourself and for your personal values and beliefs. I think you're gaining a new insight and inspiration. You've come out of the clouds of confusion and into clarity. It's blue sky, so forge ahead and say, I trust now my clear perceptions. Well, let's go to the other end of the diagonal, because there was another swords card over there, and see what it has to say to you. Well, this is talking about Jupiter in Libra. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's see what the imagery has to say. Again, look at the lovely blue sky that's here. Well, the four swords that you can see here, see them here? They're arranged in a diamond shape. Now, the diamond shape is known as a symbol of ascension, of clarity, and of wisdom. Native Americans actually associate the diamond with the butterfly, which is a symbol of air, and of the immortality that results from leaving behind gifts to people after you're dead. Now the diamond, actually, I'm just thinking also, it just reminds me that it's in the same shape as the rune Ingwas, the Viking rune Ingwas, which has in general the meaning of harmony, unity, and agreement. Now we have a thing which, with all this, what would you call that, yarn or wool through here, there's a sort of a shuttle-shaped thing which is weaving the swords together in a common cause with this blue thread of truce. Well, this weaver's shuttle is also a symbol of the fates. Those three old crones who assigned and watched the fates, the fate that everybody was in, and one of them, Mortar the crone, would cut the silken thread of someone and they were to die. Now this thing itself, well, I think it symbolizes many things that come in fours. Those things which are immeasurable, among which are compassion, love, sympathetic joy, and just taking it easy. This is a sort of a rest from strife issue here. Now these feathered quills down below here, they are writing, well, there's a sign here, Alpha and Omega, which are Greek and which you've probably heard of. So it's talking about a truce, and the truce that is written for you now covers all things from the beginning to the end, from Alpha to the Omega. So finally, there is a great calm about you. Calmness, centered clarity, a spiritual cleansing and integration and expansion, maybe a healing or a recuperation. Libra, of course, tries to find a balance, and I'm looking at Libra here, and the need for balance can sometimes induce unrest. Libra can also induce indecisiveness sometimes. But what Jupiter is doing is, Jupiter is giving you a period of rest from a difficult situation, as well as opening your higher mind's flexibility, which could be needed to resolve conflicts in life. Now, Jupiter allows you to move on while it comes into the picture and sorts everything out. You have enough inner clarity to successfully carry out your plans, so be sure at all times that you feel good about what is happening. Now, what supports or what hinders your clarity? Check your surroundings and rearrange them to support calm and centeredness. And say this to yourself: I am at peace within myself. Now, where do we go to next? Well, what's underneath it? There is this thing here, the Lord of Love. And what are these things? Okay. Now, the astrology here is said to be, as you can see here, Venus in Cancer. Well, it doesn't really get any better than that from the point of view of love and relationship, because Venus is the lesser benefic. The greater benefic, Jupiter, is your planet. Well, the lesser benefic, but there's only two benefics, Jupiter and this one here, Venus. Venus is about love, relationship, beauty, happiness. Also about money and business on the quiet. And of course, Cancer is the perfect ground in which to, the perfect womb, I suppose, in which to see love fertilized and grow. It's the most maternal of the signs. Now, these things here are what they call hippocampi in mythology. Hippocampi comes from the Greek word meaning horse monster, because these things are half horse and half dolphin, but entwined here is a light and a dark one. And these things were said to have, they're associated with the god Poseidon, who traveled across the top of the waves in his chariot pulled by hippocampi. And above them here are bees. Now, I see bees as being about sweetness, also about fertility. They also have a great feminine association for me, and in particular the ability of the feminine to use great intellect and to pursue things with strength and endurance. But there's also something more about these bees. Do you know where the word honeymoon comes from? I'll tell you, it's got to do with these bees. Now, bees, as you know, fly around collecting nectar. They then produce honey from it. Well, in olden days, people would collect the honey from the beehives and then ferment the honey to create a thing called mead, which was an alcoholic drink, something like wine or beer, which actually has in the order of 20% alcohol in it. And they would give a month's worth of mead, 20% alcohol, to the newly wedded couple. And of course, newlyweds, when they are drunk, do what anybody would do when they're drunk and they're in the presence of someone they're attracted to. Fertility is put to good use. So that's where honeymoon comes from. The moon is from the month's worth. See, the moon goes around a month, and that's where we get the word month from moon. So a month's worth of mead, which comes from honey, which comes from the nectar collected from the little bees. Now, this is speaking to me now of great close bonds, togetherness, love, harmony, and a relationship that is strengthening. There's a mutual love and respect here. There's receptive love and an emotional exchange. Do you know, if you love yourself, you are attractive to others. You've got to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how do you know what the price of love is, what the worth of love is? And you know then what it is that you're offering to someone else, and you can assess the value of what someone is proposing to offer to you. But a deep emotional exchange will be possible now, a giving and receiving of overflowing love, and this will occur in complete harmony, as is symbolized by these entwined animals here. The water is still, the sky is deep and blue. Your readiness to receive love makes you attractive. So surrender to yourself, to others, to life. But it's not just romance that's involved here. It can be friendships, it can be groups, it can be teamwork. It actually can be sales or dealings with other people. It's just that interpersonal relationships are really heavily highlighted by this. But for those romantically minded, the wind is in your sail. Now, with which persons and in which surroundings can you now share your love? Pay attention to the love that is coming to you now. Remain open and let it enter into you and go deep inside. And say this to yourself: there is nothing to do but enjoy what life offers. I am now ready to let into my life the love relationships which will fulfill me. And then that takes you. We've got through these quite quickly this month, haven't we, for a change? Let's have a look. It is finally, isn't it? Yeah. See, now new things are underway. Now this is another one of these Hebrew letters here, and it's Saturn in. Now this is Reish. Oh, wait a minute, they just call it Reish. It's actually, I forgot all that study I did years ago. This is Tav. Now Tav is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, just as this is the last card of the major arcana. Now this thing means mark, a sign, an omen, or a seal. It is the symbol of truth, perfection, and completion. And it represents the restoration of all of existence back to the holiness of God. It is a return to the essence and purpose of your life. It represents completion before beginning again with the original oneness of the divine. This actually shows you that the end was set from the beginning, which is why clairvoyance works. And what it says here is that completion does come around. Now, some people say that as soon as that point of Tav is reached, we begin again immediately by going back to life, to the source. I prefer to think that we go back to the source of, as to go back to what being itself is. Nevertheless, the painting here has this young woman coming out of what looks like, I don't know what this sort of strange threaded thing is here. Her eyes are closed and she dances with this spiral force that's going on here anyway. Now we see here things that are, now these are the fixed signs, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus and Aquarius here. And they also are associated with the 4 royal stars of the heavens. Regulus is the heart of the lion, which is Leo, and lust, and the watcher of the north. Antares is the heart of the scorpion, which is that death card in the tarot, watcher of the west. Fomalhaut is the mouth of the fish, which is Aquarius, and you see he's pouring water. You'd like that. There's a fish there getting some water poured into it to keep you well hydrated. And the watcher of the south. And Alderaan is the eye of the bull, which is down here, and the watcher of the east. Now these 4 signs they kind of form the Tau cross. Anyway, you can look that up, T-A-U. I won't go into it now. Now these watchers are also associated with one of the 4 archangels, Michael in the east, Oriel in the west, Raphael in the north, and Gabriel in the south. And the path of the universe is where the adept first begins to develop the 4 virtues: to will, to dare, to know, and to keep silent. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? There is an association there with Saturn, I think, because Saturn is what brings you back to your soul path, that soul contract that you've entered into before you've come into space and time. But this is speaking of the completion of a project, and your efforts are finally paying off. It's been a long, hard haul, I think, but you're almost there. That's a reminder to finish what you started. And I think you're learning to take control of your own destiny, and you'll be using the power of your will to get results, really, as well. I also get this burning off of karma here that's around. This really closes the circle that began with the Fool. The great task has been brought to completion. You see, I think now you're starting to see the world as it really is, and all outward stuff might start to seem superfluous if you get in that spiritual path. I do think that you'll be someone who's very gifted in, at the same time, completing old things and starting new things. And you'll be able to bring change into institutions or strongly structured environments, I see. You may well find that you are quite ecologically minded, and there is a desire to experience as much of the world and its people as is possible. Now, it may well be that before the age of 21 there was a sexual block which needed cutting through, but that's occurred, I get the feeling, around here. It's with somebody. Anyway, for you, it is now possible for you to see things as they really are. The stage is set for a new beginning or for a favorable completion. The events in your life are in harmony with the universe. Now, ask yourself this question. What aspects of your life is it time to free yourself from? Is there a journey waiting for you to set in motion? Say, I love to travel. I love to explore the unknown. I'm excited about bringing ideas and creative projects into form. I am at one with the universe. Well, what a fabulous set of cards for you. Well done, you. Well, I personally found that to be fascinating, didn't you? What a lot of great things happening for you this month, and don't you deserve it? Surely you do, that's for sure. And it's going to be probably until now next month before there's your card goes back over there, that mode card. It won't be until next month now that I see you unless you contact me privately. So, but I would ask you this, if you did enjoy the reading, then on the way out, please hit the like button because it helps the YouTube computer do things with the videos. You understand how that works. Probably a lot better than I do, I should say. But until I see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. and I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.